You are excited to build with Claude Architect, but jumping in without the right foundation is like building a house on sand. I have seen too many beginners hit walls because they skipped these essential skills. Today, I am revealing exactly what you need to know before your first Claude Architect project. Mastering Claude Architect starts before you write your first prompt. Think of zero shot as a first impression. You get one clear instruction. But few shot is a strategic conversation. By providing examples, you are showing Claude not just what to do, but how to think, aligning its reasoning to match your specific needs. This is the fundamental shift from giving commands to shaping outcomes. Now, let's elevate that strategic conversation into a dependable system. The key insight is that consistent structure becomes your greatest asset. What this means is that you must engineer prompts with clear roles, explicit step-by-step instructions, and defined output formats from the start. This discipline is what separates chaotic experiments from reliable, production-grade workflows. Picture this: you are not just giving instructions, you are crafting an entire world for the model to operate within. The pattern clearly indicates that the most effective prompts build this world systematically, layer by layer. You define the role, the rules, and the goal. This precise architecture is what turns a vague request into a perfectly executed command every single time. You are building on unstable ground without these three skills. Think of an API key as your secure passphrase. Without it, your application is just shouting into the void. You'll learn the precise way to structure your request and package your conversation so Claude understands it perfectly. What this means is clean, reliable communication, turning your vision into a functioning system without frustrating guesswork. Here's the brutal truth: most projects do not fail from poor ideas, but from production systems that collapse under unexpected load. The key insight is that rate limits and token usage define your application's stability. What this means is you must anticipate real-world traffic and data volume, or your elegant integration will simply break for your users. Imagine launching your project only to have it fail silently when an API endpoint changes. This isn't about preventing errors, but ensuring your application can recover gracefully and inform users. The pattern clearly indicates that robust error handling is what separates a prototype from a professional, resilient system your clients can actually trust. Stop dreaming about AI assistants. First, master these three hidden skills. Think of JSON schemas as your project's architectural blueprint. The key insight is that a poorly designed schema cripples Claude's ability to deliver reliable, structured data. What this means is you must define precise data types and hierarchical relationships upfront. Without this rigor, your outputs become unpredictable, turning a powerful assistant into a source of constant debugging. This skill separates functional prototypes from production-ready systems. Conversations accumulate history. The pattern clearly indicates that unstructured context dilutes Claude's memory and analytical precision. Here's what's really happening: you must design intentional containers for user intent, assistant reasoning, and system state. Master this, or watch your architecture collapse under the weight of its own conversation. Without templates, you are manually rebuilding the same logic in every project. The key insight is that consistency is your architecture's skeleton. What this means is that every unique pattern you solve must be captured, codified, and reused, or you will drown in technical debt and brittle, unpredictable outputs. Master Claude Architect. Most beginners focus on the wrong skill entirely. Skill 4 is your critical pivot from simple prompts to reliable systems. The key insight is this: you cannot just ask Claude to solve the big, messy problem. You must architect the solution yourself first, decomposing it into a sequence of discrete, verifiable tasks. What this means is you design the logic, then direct Claude through each step. Master this, or your projects will unpredictably fail. Think one unexpected answer breaks the whole system? It will. The pattern clearly indicates you must anticipate failure points before they occur. What this means is designing a structured recovery path, like automated verification steps or alternate task branches. Here's what's really happening: you are not just asking for a result, you are engineering resilience directly into the workflow. You think monitoring Claude's outputs is enough? It's not. The key insight is you must engineer the workflow to learn from its own mistakes. What this means is building explicit pathways for analysis and correction, transforming every error into a direct performance upgrade. Here's what's really happening: you are programming continuous adaptation. Master Claude not with code, but with these 3 forgotten human-first disciplines. The key insight is that workflows fail silently. You need validation logic at every decision point. What this means is anticipating every bad path, incorrect data formats, user errors, system timeouts. The pattern clearly indicates that successful teams document these failure modes first, then build. Do not just test for success, prove your workflow can recover gracefully. So, you have built metrics. But here's the brutal reality: the business does not care about your score. They care about value. Your metric must directly tie to a business outcome: reduced time, increased revenue, fewer errors. A good score on a useless metric is a complete failure. Anchor every evaluation to what actually moves the needle. Now imagine a critical report that's perfectly formatted, but its data is subtly wrong. The system missed it completely. This is the final, non-negotiable skill: implement human review gates for mission-critical outputs. An architect's job is to build systems where dangerous or costly errors cannot slip through automated checks. Your credibility depends on this last line of defense. Master prompt engineering before attempting complex Claude Architect projects. Build solid API and data structure foundations to avoid technical debt. Always design with testing and validation in mind from day one. Practice these skills with simple Claude API projects before tackling your main architecture.